In this lecture, I'll discuss what I refer to as a sphere of cosmic consciousness. Why do I refer to cosmic consciousness as a sphere? Well, ancient cultures around the world for a very long time have understood that the Earth was spherical, that it had a spherical form. And this can be obvious today without taking off on a spaceship out into outer space and looking back at the Earth and recognize that spherical form of Earth. We can all recognize this shape standing here on Earth when we look out at the horizon and notice clouds rising above the horizon or falling back beyond the horizon and dropping behind that horizon. Obviously there's a curve that one perceives in the motion of those clouds rising above or below the horizon. Another example is looking up at the moon in the morning and seeing a part of the moon that has the sun shining on it, the lighter side, and the dark side of the moon behind that. And when the conditions are right, particularly in the morning when the moon is in the southeastern part of the sky, you can notice the dark side of the moon not identical to the shading of the sky itself. So you see the round circular shape of the moon, but also that line between the light and dark sides of the moon is curved, showing that the moon itself is a sphere. And relating those shapes back to Earth and recognizing that the planets are round or spheres rotating around a spherical sun leads to a logical conclusion that the Earth itself is spherical. Ancient peoples recognized this. They understood this. The next step was, well, how large is this place where we live? How large is the Earth itself? And there are mythologies and there are written records, for example, in the book of Enoch, that describes angels setting off with ropes to measure the Earth. Enoch asks that question, where are these angels going? What are they going to do with these ropes? And the reply is, they are going to measure. What are they going to measure? It is the Earth itself, as it turns out. So, looking at this sphere with great circles around it, the angels were setting out to measure distances along a spherical surface and relating that to the angles that could be observed between the Earth's shadows as a result of the sun shining down on the Earth's surface, and relating a particular function of those angles that could be perceived with the measured distances and calculating then an approximate radius, diameter, or circumference of the Earth itself. And we know that this was done, the Great Pyramid at Giza being an example of showing or demonstrating those relationships in terms of a single megalithic structure and the form and dimensions of that structure being related very intimately with the shape and size of the Earth itself. So we know that ancient cultures and indigenous cultures knew that the Earth was in the shape of a sphere. Interestingly, the symbols that were used to relate people to the Earth, the cosmos, each other, and the Creator take a circular form which combined in numerous configurations leads to a spherical structure. So when the ancients were going out to measure the Earth's surface, they led to an understanding which became ritualistic, part of religion, theology, and life ways, in which the understanding of where we lived and the shape of the Earth that we lived on became important as a symbol of who we are relative to the rest of the universe. Ultimately, the understanding becomes one of our relationship in terms of a cosmic consciousness that can be represented in a spherical form, which is being discovered today by scientists as having particular geometry within empty space, which has the identical geometry as what we find in this very structure of 9 great circles about a spherical surface. And surprisingly, science is discovering that the physics of empty space takes on the same geometry as the sacred symbolism of these important relationships that people have with the rest of the universe. An obvious demonstration, an obvious conclusion to be drawn is that there is a cosmic consciousness with which people have been connected to relate these ideas, and understanding who we are in the universe, and actually understanding what the sacred, vital, fundamental shape of empty space is within which our consciousness pervades and interacts with the rest of the universe.